Hello and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we're going to take a little look at, are we really ever going to get Pennywise and an It chapter in Dead by Daylight? This chapter it's been wanted so much. Each and every time it says it's a licensed character for the brand new DLC, there is so many things going on, like it's going to be Pennywise. It's going to be Pennywise. We're having an It chapter. The map's going to be a sewer. We've had so many of them, myself included. I've done a few of them because just by little trinkets and little droplets that have been sprinkled over Twitter, Facebook and all other forms of the internet, everyone has thought we are getting Pennywise. But we've all been wrong so far. But we're going to take a little look into something today because there is so many arrows pointing that Pennywise is going to be in the future of DBD, and we can only hope and pray for. But this is coming back from 2019 now, where Nintendo Dual Screens, they did an interview with Matthew Cote, the guy behind Dead by Daylight. And again, I'm not going to play this entire podcast because it is a little bit long, but I will leave the link below for you. But this is what we got. So Nintendo Dual Screens 1-to-1 interview by Daylight, guest host Matthew Cote. And as I said, I'm not going to play it, but Polyester, another fantastic Dead by Daylight channel on YouTube. If I need anything regarding DBD, I always go to Paulie because to me, he's the best at it. He is the best for all the information. It's there for you. Paulie's link is down below for you. And Paulie actually took out this key part from the actual podcast. And so we got Nintendo, what would be your dream licensed killer and survivor? Full green light. Anyone you ever asked with no issues of rights, your dream, it's your wish, it happens automatically. Who would it be? Matthew Cote comes back with Pennywise. He doesn't even hesitate. It's a Pennywise, which is just amazing. I'm a huge fan of Stephen King. I love what he does. It's a difficult one to get a hold of. Now, with that they're saying it's difficult to get a hold of, obviously there must be other companies out there who want to add Pennywise to their games or to other types of licensing. Because to be honest with you, with both films making over $1 billion together and it's a combined budget of like 200 million, I don't even think it's that actually. I think it's like 150 million. And when you think of it like that, it's like I would want my character. Yeah, if you want him, here you are. Give us a licensing or whatever. It would have to be Warner Brothers or New Line because they're the ones who made the films. But Stephen King does, in fact, have a little commission, shall we say, for when he wants to give out his stuff for licensing, and it's actually called Dollar Baby. So this is what we got. The Dollar Baby or Dollar Deal is an arrangement where best-selling author Stephen King grants permission to students and aspiring filmmakers or theatre producers to adapt one of his short stories for $1. It does go on to say about literally these properties, they are in the very small budget range. There's nothing over $1 million here. It goes from a few hundred to 60,000. But the people who made these short stories when they were first starting out making films, they become Frank Darabont, the guy who wrote The Shawshank Redemption, the guy who wrote The Green Mile. These are the guys who you want to be doing it with. So I'm not too sure what they got with, licensing for video games. Who knows? Stephen King may have this. But another interesting fact would be as well is Stephen King, Matthew Cote and a few other people at Behaviour, they all followed Stephen King within a day or so. And that got everyone like, oh my god, this is happening. Pennywise is coming. Pennywise is coming to DBD. But again, no, that's because, again, we all thought it. When Stranger Things was announced as the brand new chapter, we got two survivors there. We had Steve and Nancy, and we also had the Demogorgon. When that first appeared, it was like, this is amazing. Couple of weeks beforehand, and this one, everyone was like, Stranger Things is going to be the new chapter. Everyone was like, nah, it's not, don't be stupid. It became the chapter because Matthew Cote and a few other people at Behaviour started following Steve, Nancy, the guys who play him in real life on Twitter, They started following Stranger Things, the Duffer Brothers. So it was kind of like everyone was in, in the mix. Everyone was in together. And then that's happened a few times since. Like I was saying, with Stephen King. We also saw it with Tony Todd, which made a lot of people, and myself included, absolutely lose our mind. Because we thought, we're having Candyman in the game. Candyman, for me, is one of the biggest killers I want. For me, it's Pinhead, the Cenobites, and Candyman. They're the ones, for me, if I had them in a game, my life is complete. It would be the greatest game ever. But again, no, those are different stories for different videos coming out later next week. But with this one here, though, we're going to move on to something else now, which is actually for the director of Dead by Daylight. And this is what we got. This interview was actually, again, 2 years ago. Dead by Daylight director would love to add Pennywise, to the game. So the interview was with creative director Dave Richard, who went through a whole host of things, which is absolutely amazing article. I'll leave this link below as well for you people. But it's down by here where he says, what established killers from movies or otherwise would you like to be able to add to the game in the future? There are still a few candidates that would love to see in the Dead by Daylight roster. Personally, I would love to see Jason and Pennywise become part of the family. That would just be amazing. With Jason, it's a little bit of an iron situation, mostly because the situation with Friday the 13th and who owns what, it's still in legal mumbo-jumbo land. There's so many different things going on. Who owns Jason? Does Cunningham own Jason? Is it Miller who owns Jason? It's like, right, who can have who, It's the whole, right, this person owns this person. If you want a Friday the 13th chapter, you can have that, but you can only have Mrs. Voorhees. You can't have Jason. But the Friday the 13th series is Jason. It's not his mother. His mother's the one who's like, Jason, go and do this for me. But in the first film, Mrs. Voorhees was the bad guy. So that's what we need. Don't get me wrong, I'd still love to have her, it'd be amazing. But just to see Pennywise in it would be absolutely awesome. Before we actually do finish, I was scouring, the Dead by Daylight Reddit, and I came across someone who a year ago it's actually removed now, but they put up what they would do for their killer concept regarding Pennywise. And this is what we got. So Dead by Daylight, killer concept, Pennywise, the Devourer. I do like that. For some unknown reason, it's all mumbled up. But then you got for the weapon, the Devourer uses its sharp claws that appear out of his gloves, seemingly out of nowhere. After injuring or downing the survivor, the Devourer chuckles and says, "Where are you going?" or "Hold on, egghead," with a calm but speedy tone to it. That would be amazing. Obviously, then it goes through his powers and his perks and everything else. And to be honest with you, it is absolutely fantastic. And this has been thought out so well. So for his power, Deadlights, being similar to the entity in nature, the Devourer feeds off the fear and negative emotions from the survivor to its advantage, making itself a twisted perversion of form. The Deadlight allows the Devourer to feed off of fear. The longer a survivor is in the chase with the Devourer, or views it long enough, will build their fear meter. Once full, one of 3 nodes will appear full under the survivor icon. Each survivor starts with 3 empty nodes. At this moment in time now, because obviously we got the nodes next to the name for if they've been on a hook, we already got 2. It could be a little bit like, can't really force that on there anymore. So it then goes on to say each node gives Pennywise a passive ability, but the ability will only be active depending on the survivor it's in chase. The ability doesn't work out of chase. Each node gives him special powers. First node, the Devourer gains haste and has the ability to float over objects and reach high places, using its blood red balloon. How amazing would that be? It takes 2.5 seconds for the Devourer to float over an object by default. Is only active in chase or near down survivor. So with that one there, imagine you're running up the tractor in one of the Coldwind Farm or something, and all of a sudden you just see Pennywise coming up behind you with the red balloons as well. That is amazing. Second node, the Devourer can expand its arms, turning them into a beastly form of their previous look. The wind-up time is 3 seconds by default. Once hit, the Devourer retracts his hands and twirls them, smelling, then wiping the blood off them. is only active in chase. That could be good. Third node, the Devourer hungers. It twists and turns, morphing itself into a large insectoid. The survivor with full 3 nodes gets exposed. After hit, the Devourers shake violently, turning back into its original form. It's only active in chase. Lasts 25 seconds by default. That could be cool. The only way to remove the nodes is if Pennywise hits a survivor or if the 3rd node wears off. That would be kind of cool, I must admit. But then it goes into the perks and everything else about the what they got, which, to be honest with you, they do need to be tweaked. You know, you got Soulless there, where allows the killer the ability to remove red light and any notification that the killer is near for 5, 7 or 10 seconds every whatever. I'm a bit like with that one. You got Obsession, beep beep. Every time the killer gets blinded or hit by a pallet or decisive strike, that survivor will become the Obsession. Yeah, okay. Then you got Hex, All-Seeing Curse. Once the killer closes the hatch or the door open, every survivor gains the exhausted effect and gets locked in place for 2, 3 or 5 seconds. The endgame meter also speeds up by 20%. That one would be a little bit of a like, oh guys, what the hell are you doing? That's a bit of a no-no for me for the, speeds up by 20% for the endgame. Being stuck in place, that'd be good, that'd be funny as hell. But for me, it wouldn't, 2, 3, 5, maybe 2, 3, 4 seconds. But for the endgame meter also speeds up by 20, nah. I'd say 5% maybe, 20% it'd be gone like that. You can't really do it like that. But then they go into the Mari. The Devourer grabs the downed survivor by the neck and picks him or her up. It slowly opens its mouth, revealing the dead lights and forcing the survivor to view it. After a few seconds, the survivor dies of shock as the Devourer throws the survivor on the ground, laughing as it does. See, for me, with that there, for that is, it is good, a good start. For me, it'd be like, so when he picks him up, it's like when he picks Bev up in the first film. Picks her up, his mouth opens up, got the deadites, and then, the deadlights, they, the eyes go, and then they float up. That's what they should, instead of throwing them to the ground, have the entity basically take them up and they're gone. A bit like if they're hung on a hook. That's what I think they need to do, but it may not happen. But that's what we got, guys, and I really do hope we do see Pennywise in the future, because, well, at this moment in time, and the decade we are in now, Pennywise is a huge pop culture phenomenon. Everyone loves him. Everyone loves the films. Like I said, they made over $1 billion. They're going to be wanting, we want Pennywise in the game. We want Pennywise with you. Fingers crossed we get him soon. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for future updates. Stay safe, and I'll see you all very soon.